Hi, and welcome to the third episode of Kitchen Survival. I'm going to go over a very special and kind of important recipe to my life, and that is how to make tiramisu and how to woo the person that you love the most. When I first started talking to my now girlfriend, that the first date we went on, it was going to be a picnic, and I wanted more than anything to impress her. Anything. I asked her what some of her favorite foods were, and as a surprise, I decided to make her favorite dessert, tiramisu. A dessert which I had never made before in my entire life and had no idea how to make. Surprisingly, it turned out to be fairly easy to make, and I managed to woo and impress her even though I was desperately terrified the entire time. This recipe is going to involve a couple of different ingredients, and it's going to involve a few different techniques. I put the recipe up behind me. I'm also going to make a card for it. If you can't see it, it's going to be here. The ingredients you're going to need for this recipe are milk, heavy whipping cream, or egg whites. I'll get into that in a minute. 6 egg yolks, strong coffee, espresso, cold brew, double brewed coffee, all of those things will do. 2 tablespoons of some kind of spiced rum or a dark liquor will do. If you're too young to get rum, I would suggest just not going with it. You don't really need it. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, or as much vanilla as you like. 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. A pound of marscapone, which is a special Italian cheese. You can find it in the fancy cheese section. It's gonna come in little tubs. 2 packages of ladyfingers, also can find at the grocery store in the baked goods section. They're kind of difficult to find. And some cocoa powder. A couple of the more important techniques we're going to do are whipping either heavy whipping cream or egg whites into stiff peaks, which create that really nice fluffy texture that you get within the mascarpone. We're gonna go ahead and get started on the first step, which is taking the 6 egg yolks and emulsifying it with white sugar. And we're gonna go to that beautiful stuff right now. So first things first, I put a small pan on the stove. It's on high right now to start it getting it boiling. I'm gonna turn it down to medium. Next, I have all these delicious eggs. We're gonna crack open and get the egg yolks out. 1 egg yolk. Well, that didn't look like a good egg anyway. Egg yolks in this bowl. I'm gonna need 1/2 a cup of sugar to start off with. Also gonna need 2/3 of a cup of milk. So make sure, definitely about 2/3, and there we go. Whisk that together real quick. All right. So the water's simmering. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the egg yolks and we're gonna put it over the simmering water and create a double boiler, just like that. We want this to get nice and light and fluffy, but we absolutely do not want them to cook into scrambled eggs, which means that the double boiler is going to help us prevent that. So what it's doing is diffusing the heat, and it's also creating indirect heat instead of direct heat, like the bottom of the saucepan would create. It allows us to control and really watch the eggs a lot better than we could if they were just in a traditional saucepan. We're gonna whisk until our arm falls off. The whole recipe is going to be about whisking until our arm falls off. So the consistency of the eggs, sugar, and milk are changing rather drastically. I've been sitting here whisking continuously for about 3 to 4 minutes. And as you can see, it's almost doubled in size. It's getting a lot thicker. Perfect. Oh my gosh. Yes, so nice, thick, custard-like consistency. All right. That looks good to me. I'm gonna take that off the heat. Turn the heat off. Find a place in my fridge to sit this while it cools down. So in one bowl, I'm going to place the heavy whipping cream. I know this bowl is really ugly, I don't care. And in the other bowl, we're going to place egg whites. Ooh, delicious. In both of these bowls, I'm going to put a teaspoon of vanilla extract. This is kind of what they mean by stiff peaks. Stiff peaks means when you pull up and out, you get a nice little like that. That is what they mean by stiff peaks. That is a perfect stiff peak. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the same exact thing to this heavy whipping cream, and we're gonna get it to the same place. Here we go. Okay, and heavy whipping cream. That is what a stiff peak looks like. Okay, so my GoPro died, which means now everything has to be done manually, which will be super awesome. And you can see it charging in the corner if you look really carefully. I'm gonna say that that's about a half a cup of coffee, a teaspoon of vanilla, and 2 shots of Bacardi. Okay, here's the yolk mixture, the yolk sugar mixture. It's obviously cooled down quite a lot. So we're gonna take this mascarpone out of the package and incorporate it into the mixture. Don't squeeze it all over yourself while you're doing this. And then get this mixture mixed in here. See, eventually you will beat it to death with your determination, and your girlfriend will love you more because your arms will be so big and muscular. Isn't that right, Darcy? She's playing games. So that's pretty nice. Not lumpy, very nice, very smooth, and delicious looking. I have this really nice whipped heavy cream, and I also have the mascarpone and egg yolk mixture here. Now, I don't want to lose any of this wonderful, delicious fluffiness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a very little bit of it and stick it in the middle, and I'm going to kind of prime this by gently scooping and mixing the mixture around. So I'm kind of priming it, getting it ready, scooping the mixture all the way around and just folding it in. Now we're gonna take a bigger chunk, closer to like a third of it, put it right in the center, and we're gonna do the same technique. Take your rubber spatula, put it right up next to the bowl, scoop under and then go over. Scoop under and then go over. Under, over. Okay, this isn't super incorporated, but that's fine. I'm gonna take some more, and I'm gonna do the same thing. And flipping the mixture over the heavy whipping cream, I'm preserving the bubbles and preserving the airiness and lightness of the dish. You would do the same thing if this was a chiffon cake or anything nice and light and fluffy like that. Last bit of this stuff, put it right in the center, fold, 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 and just fold it in. All right, that's it. You're done. That is your mascarpone and heavy whipping cream mixture. That looks great. I know it doesn't look super mixed in, but that's totally fine. You want to preserve all of those yummy, yummy bubbles that you've created. Okay, now before anyone's Italian grandmas start yelling at me, this is the way that I make tiramisu. Not everyone is going to make tiramisu the same way. So here's our coffee rum mixture. I'm gonna dip these in very quickly. Dip. Move out. Dip. Move out. And you're just gonna keep doing that until you fill the bottom of the pan. So as you can see, the coffee rum is disappearing pretty fast into the lady fingers. So I'm probably gonna make more in a minute. Coffee, coffee. Rum. Vanilla. Whisk very gently. This is going to be the whipped cream based one. You go ahead and put that in. Bloop, bloop, bloop. That's enough for me. Let's move that down real quick. Okay. Take our cocoa powder, which you've been saving in the corner. I'm using Schaffenberger. And just gently dust the top of that, or, you know, throw it on. Cocoa powder is super essential. Either really, really dark chocolate shavings or cocoa powder. You want something really nice and bitter on top of this really sweet, good stuff. Second layer of lady fingers.
Hang on, excuse me.
What?
Excuse me.
What?
We have to interrupt this episode of Kitchen Survival for a very important announcement.
What's the important announcement?
It's 2016.
Oh, is it 2016?
It's 2016.
Look, well, you move the camera then.
2016, so you know what that means.
What does that mean?
That's the thing, Alex.
What's the thing? You're gonna kiss me on camera?
Happy New Year! Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Okay, more of this one, whatever this one is. More of the heavy whipping cream. For the final touch, I'm going to use this and take some of that. Just gently pat it on. Now, Kitchen Survival isn't just about showing you the exact recipes and having to follow them. It's also about altering recipes to suit your lifestyle or to suit your budget. That's the whole point of surviving in the kitchen. See you next time, Kitchen Survival.